What are keys? The word key is used in the context of relational database design. Cardinality refers to the relationship between a row of one table and a row of another table. They brought together under one heading or under one column or one table. That is nothing but generalization. Dear students, welcome to Computer Science classes. I am Ravi Kumar KR, lecturer in Computer Science, Vidhyaashram PU College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Students, let us start this session with the topics cardinality, ordinality, generalization, specialization and keys. So in this session, we are going to learn few definitions of different terms we are using in database concepts. Now let us see what is cardinality. This cardinality refers to the relationship between a row of one table and a row of another table. Now whenever we talk about tables, here the concept of two tables. There are two relations. Now how we are going to connect two relations or two tables with the help of cardinality. So this is going to establish the relationship between the row of one table and row of another table. And it refers to uniqueness of data or values contained in a particular column or attribute. So it is going to give uniqueness of data with respect to the columns or with the attribute. And it specifies maximum number of relationship. So this is the definition of cardinality. Now look at this here. Next definition is ordinality. What is ordinality? It describes the relationship as either mandatory or optional. Here, if there are more than one table, so may or may not have a relationship between two tables. So this is ordinality. It specifies a minimum number of relationship. So if you look at this previous one, cardinality, it specifies maximum number of relationship between two tables, whereas ordinality, it gives us or it specifies minimum number of relationship between two tables. So this is ordinality. Now next definition is generalization. So what is generalization? So the number of entities are brought together into one generalized entity based on their characteristics. So this is the definition of generalization. So here number of entities, here the different number of entities of similar behavior and characteristics. So they brought together under one heading or under one column or one table. That is nothing but generalization. So it is nothing but bottom-up approach. So you might have learned in previous session or maybe in your next previous classes the different method of programming techniques or the approach to problem solving methodology. There is one of the method is bottom-up design. So this or generalization, it follows bottom-up approach to solve a problem or in database. So in which two lower level entities combine to form higher level entities. This is the definition of generalization. And this high level entity can also combine with another lower entity to make further higher level entities. Now look at this diagram here. In this pigeon, this is a bird, sparrow and dove. All these are different birds and all of them have similar characteristics. So all of them will brought together under one heading, that is birds. So this is nothing but bottom-up design and this is the definition of generalization. So it is all a number of entities brought together under one heading or brought together, those entities have similar characteristics. This is generalization. Next definition is specialization. It is opposite of generalization. So here the group of entities is divided into subgroups based on their characteristics. So in previous example, it was different. Now look at definition, and it is a top-down approach. So another method of problem approach is top-down approach. Here, higher level entity can be broken down into smaller entities. So here, for example, if any problem given to you, there is a more complex problem that we divide into number of sub-problems. So that is an example for top-down design and top-down approach. So here, specialization is top-down approach. And here, some higher level entities may not have lower level entities. So this is specialization. Now look at this example here. Here, a person. So a person, he can may as a dual role, either he can be student or he can be a teacher. So this is the relationship. So this is an example for specialization. So the higher level entities are divided into smaller entities depending on or depends on their circumstances or the problem or the situation. This is nothing but top-down design. So this is the complex problem or the entity divided into sub-problems. So this is a top-down approach. So an example, in a company, a person can be identified as an employee or employer, or he can be a customer. So all these the same person. So a one person, he can play a dual role, or he can take more than one responsibility. That is specialization. Another example, in a school database, a person can specialize as a teacher and a student or a staff. So this is another example for specialization. This is specialization. Now let us move on to another important concept in database, that is keys. What are keys? The word key is used in the context of relational database design. Very important concept. And they are used to establish and identify the relation between the table. Now, as we have seen, database. So here, more than one table in a database, we are linking together, we are connecting more than one table in a database through keys. That is the advantage of keys. That is the purpose of using keys in a database. So it is going to establish the relationship between the tables. And the key is a set of one or more columns whose combined values are unique among all the occurrences in a table. So this key, we can apply this key to either a single column or multiple columns, depends on the application. So this is a key. Now we look at this diagram and let us try to understand different types of key. Now by looking at this diagram, we can see different types of key. Now let me read out the different types of key. This is super key, candidate key, unique key, primary key, alternate key, foreign key, and composite key, as well as foreign key here. So these are different types of keys we can make use of in our database to connect more than one table in a database. So first of all, let us say, look at table now and observe that there are two tables here. This employee table, this is one table, and this is another table. This is, we can take as employee table 2. So in this example, in the first table, we have columns or attributes, employee ID, name, address, license number, and passport number. And again, if you look at the second, these are the different values. And these are all nothing but different records. So there are 3 records in this table. Now look at another table, employee ID, salary, as well as amount. This is another table. Now these are 2 different tables. We are going to connect through different types of keys in a database. Now let us say, what is a primary key? If you observe the table here, so this table is built based on the employee ID. So this employee ID is unique. This is a unique value. So this table is built or based on one column, that is employee ID. It is a unique among different employees in a company. So this is unique. It is called primary key. So what is a primary key? Primary key is nothing but these attributes or this particular field is unique among different employees. So in this example, no two values can have the same data. I repeat, in this example, in this particular column, particular attribute, so no two records have the same values of this column or employee ID. This is one record, second record, third record, and here these are unique. So this is called as primary key. So now look at this example here. Primary key and employee name, it may be same or may not be same. Even address may or may not be same. And if you look at license number, now license number of any student, of any person, is unique in nature. Similarly, even for passport number. If you look at the passport number of any person, this is unique. So if you look at this example, in this table, we find there are two more columns or two more attributes with a unique in nature. They are called as unique key. So here this license number, it is unique, and this passport number is also unique, and this table can be built based on not only with this, can also build based on these two values or these two attributes. It is called as alternate key. So what is alternate key here? And in this table, employee ID is unique and license number is unique, others passport number is unique. So any of them can be a primary key or alternative key. But in here, already this employee is a primary key, so other keys are called as alternate key. So this is alternate key and primary key. Now look at another example. Next type of key is unique key. So what is unique key here? In a table, this is unique in nature, and passport number is unique, even this also is unique, and primary key is unique. So this primary key, or this is nothing but employee ID is a primary key. License number is a unique in nature, as passport number is unique in nature, is called as candidate key. This is another definition of a candidate key. So what is candidate key? It is a group of these different attributes, employee ID and your license number, passport number, are unique in nature. It is unique among different records in a database. It is called as candidate key. So primary key, alternate key, unique key, and candidate key. And this primary key, candidate key, unique key together called as super key. What is super key? Super key is a group of, or it can have more than one key. So it is a primary key and unique and this candidate key all together is called as a super key. This is definition of super key. Now look into that, the foreign key. And if you look into that foreign key, this is another table. So we have connected this table with employee ID here, and look at the arrow mark. This is employee. This is another table. So this table is the one table, and this table is built or formed with the help of this particular column or primary key. So if you look in this column, this employee ID and another employee ID of this table are same. So this is called as foreign key. Means the primary key of one table is present in another table. So this employee ID in second table is referred as foreign key. So this is employee ID in this example is a foreign key. So these are all different keys we are using in a database. So, and look at one more example is composite key. What is a composite key? In this one, this employee is foreign key and this together form a composite key. So these are all different types of keys used in database. Now let me see the definition of these things one by one. So candidate key, a key is any set of one or more columns whose combined values are unique among all occurrences of a table. So candidate key, in the previous example where this is candidate key, it is unique among different records in a table, this is candidate key. Now let us see next one is primary key. What is primary key? It is a key that uniquely identifies each record in a table. Each record in a table. In this diagram here, this table is in this one employee ID. So each record is identified with as employee ID. Now let us see the next definition, a primary key. Primary key is a key that uniquely identifies each record in a table. So in this example, this table is each record in table is identified with their employee ID. This is unique. This is called a primary key. So this is the definition of primary key. Next one is alternate key, or another name is secondary key. So the alternate key of any table are simply those candidate key which are not currently selected as a primary key. So not selected as a primary key. Now look at this example here. Look at table. As I told you, in this table, the employee ID is unique, and also the columns license number is unique, as well as passport number is unique. So here, we can select any of this column as a primary key. But in this example, we have taken employee ID as a primary key, and other keys, other unique keys which we have not considered as a primary key are called as alternate key. Another name is secondary key. So this is a definition of alternate keys. Now next one is super key. What is super key? A super key is basically all sets of columns for which no two rows share same values for those sets. And here that an attribute or set of attributes that uniquely identifies the record in a table. So tuple is nothing but another name of record is tuple. So this super key is going to identify the records with unique columns or unique attributes. Now look at this example. Here super key. So this is a super key, is a combination of primary key. So it is unique, and again unique. These two are unique. So it is called as super key. It is a group of keys or columns where each records are uniquely identified or uniquely recorded. So this is super key. Next definition is foreign key. What is foreign key? It is a field in a relation table that matches the primary key of another table. The primary key column of another table. So look at the table here. In this example, there are two tables, and this table we have this a primary key employee ID, and here also we have employee ID. So this forms a foreign key. So primary key of one table is present in another table. So here this is employee ID in this table is called as foreign key. That is the definition of foreign key. Next one is composite key. What is composite key? A key that consists of two or more attributes that uniquely identify an entity occurrences in a table. So here in the example, so this is composite key. In a table, so this is all record employee ID are identified uniquely. It is called as a composite key. So these are all different types of keys available in database. Students, let us continue our discussion in my next session. Thank you so much.